It's motherfucking Friday, February 21st, 2025. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's a social production, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, if it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram. Follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/sharpsadger if you like to fiscally, financially support the show. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you wherever you're tuning in from. If it's Canada, Wagwan, down south in the United States, as per usual, further down south, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia's, all around the world, Finland, the Swedes over there in the Middle East, over there in Eastern Europe, the stands, all the stands, Uzbekistan, all of them, Kazakhstan. You get it, wherever you're tuning in from. It is Friday. Man, oh man. Beautiful motherfuckers, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Just a wonderful day to be alive. It is nice outside. It's just, it's been chilly for the past few days, but it's getting a little bit more tolerable, which is good. Minus 20 is a little bit too much. Minus 10, 15, you can deal with that. That's good. Well, that's what's going on in Canada. But before we get into it, because lots to discuss, we're just gonna have fun. I do want to say congratulations to the Canadian men's hockey team. Wagwan to the boys on them skates, them slapstick boys. You know what's up. I believe are we the champions? Are we collectively, did we just do this together? Collectively? What happened? Because everybody was talking a few days ago, everybody was talking a big talk. Talking that big, everybody getting a little bit quick to pull the old trigger, a little bit quick to jump the old gun, a little bit quick to take your pants, a little quick to just, a little bit of premature ejac, you know what I'm talking about? But congratulations to the boys. None, it's US versus Canada, Canada versus US. I don't follow hockey, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it over the past few days just because it was the first game. And then there was a brawl, and then we ended up losing that game, but we won we lost the battle, but we won the war. I don't like to gloat. I don't like to, make a thing out of it, but it's just facts are facts. It's okay. It's all right. It's your boys on ice, man. What do you expect? It's what we do. It's what we do. We are born on ice. We freeze ourselves for fun. We do cryogenics just for fucking shits and giggles. What are you up to? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, let me go in the sun, let me get a tan. We're out here iced out, son. Oh, I don't play hockey, never followed it, but no, it just makes me proud as a Canadian. It just makes me proud because it's like, right there, dude. Congratulations. No, I don't like there's a little bit of sitch going on with it. It doesn't matter. What's in the past is in the past. What's important is the present, is the future. Is right now. Congratulations to Team Canada. You made everybody proud. And yes, it's just good. It's good to know that we did it together. It's beautiful. Fucking A. It's never got into hockey. Hockey was a little bit of an expensive sport. It was a rich kid sport. Still is. I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to say it is now because I don't know. I would assume, equipment, rink. You got to get a rink. You got to have, rink availability. It's a lot of equipment, it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other sports, but nonetheless, I do honestly believe hockey players are some of the most athletic athletes out there. Jesus, with all the equipment, running, skating on ice, it's fast paced. It's drop the gloves. It's time to square off. It's time to triangle off. It's time to even know your shapes. You know what I mean? It's all about geometry. I think I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't matter as long as the puck goes in the back of the net. Pew, 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 pew. You just scored, son. Oh, it's like sibling rivalry. It's nice. It's good to have that competition. But at the end of the day, Canadians love Americans. Americans love Canadians. That shit, nothing will come between us. We have gone through thick and thin. We've been together from the get-go, from all the early stages of it all. So there's a lot of love, mutual respect, appreciation for one another again, but it's just if we're just talking facts as to who are the champs, you talk and then right? We don't even get to we start bleeding. We don't even get to because that's what it is. That's the Canadian in us. Everybody's got this assumption about Canadians that we're all Mr. and Mrs. Nice Guy, and we are Mr. and Mrs. Nice Guy. But you'd fucking, also, you push us, and the next thing you know, fucking, it's game over, son. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. You put us on ice, you get us a little bit of a nosebleed, we will come at you. Oh, again, this is the collective we. I've had nothing to do with this. Or have I had everything to do with it, if you really think about it, like everything else? Little by little, doing things. Ladies and gents, it's Friday though. Congratulations to Team Canada. You made everybody proud. And again, just a little bit of it's just a little friendly competition. No need to worry. It's okay. There's other things. I'm pretty sure you guys down there in the south can, do pretty well. But when it comes to certain things, fucking, it's just what it is. Just what it is. No, in all fairness, it takes, again, that mutual rivalry, it's that competition between us, it's beautiful. Sports are cool, get it out there, and at the end of the day, we're all one. We are all one. But clearly one winner, and but we're all in it together. We did it, we did this together. It's okay. That's all right, guys. It's all right. Good things happen to good people or those who wait or something along those lines. Not here or there. Nonetheless, let's get right into a lot to discuss today. Let us just have a little bit of fun. Let's get started. If we may together. As you know, dropping small items on the floor can be a solitary activity, and you have to get down on your knees, hands and knees, and look for them. Whether it's an earring, whether it's a wedding ring, whether it's a hairpin, whether it's a tiny little utensil that you were using to fix something. Whatever. Where is it? I dropped it on the carpet. I can't see. Where is it? Next thing you know, you spent hours, days, months, years on the ground, on your knees, all by yourself, isolating yourself, which is the number one cause of obesity, isolation, mental health, or something along those. I don't know, but it's not good. You know what helps picking up or finding stuff that you dropped on the ground easier? If you had the ability, which I believe you do, if you deep down inside look at yourself and say, yes, I can, yes, I will. Multitasking, baby. Doing doggy style and searching for lost items on the ground is a much easier and more enjoyable task than just going out there and saying, I'm going to do it all on my own. I don't need anybody. I will do it all on my own. How many times have we heard? How many times have we seen with our eyes good men and women out there dropping items on the floor and them getting lost? Oh, what are you doing now? I'm just searching for, I dropped whatever I dropped. I dropped a hairpin. I dropped a pencil. I dropped jewelry. I dropped a condom. I dropped where's my baby? I dropped where are my pets? I dropped my pets. Where are my whatever? Where are my tools? Where are my pictures? Where are my photos? I dropped something on the floor, and you're on your knees, just look like an idiot and spending time searching, sweating. And then trying to get up and catch your breath and recollecting your thoughts and asking yourself, just retrace your steps, just ask yourself, where were you in the past 12 hours? Did you even drop it on the floor? Now you're playing mind games with yourself, second guessing yourself, doubting yourself. Don't do that. Get a partner. Start doing doggy style on the ground. Have you and your partner both look for the lost item. You will find it much easier. You will find it quicker. And at the end of the day, nothing says teamwork and a little bit of search and rescue for a little bit of a lost item with multitasking incorporated with doggy style and or vaginal penetration, whatever you like. Whatever you're into, it doesn't. As long as you're doing it doggy style, you got both sets of eyes looking at the ground, not anywhere else, not concentrate on somebody, we're not talking about, let's do this for the back shots. Let's do this for pleasure. This pleasure is in there already, but you're looking to find an item much more efficiently. That's just the main purpose of this. So if you're like, I wonder if I can incorporate doggy style with anything else, that is one specific thing that you can incorporate doggy style with, and that is a little bit of a search and rescue. Of course, you could use your partner's back as a, as like a desk, if you will. You could just kind of like lay your laptop and write up a nice email, get a couple of job applications sent out on your partner's back. It doesn't always have to be pleasure. Of course it is, but sometimes you can mix pleasure and business together. Set your laptop on your partner's back as you're giving it to her or him, because I don't care. I don't care what you're into. Boom, next thing you know, fucking work is already done, dude, because you were what? Doggy styling and typing it up, send them emails, send them faxes. Get one of those old school, like heavy duty phones that are plugged into the wall, set it on your partner's back. There's plenty of room, there's plenty of space. Make a couple of phone calls. Want to get a drink? Put a couple of drinks on your partner's back. One for you, one for them. Sippy sip for you. Take it off their back. Reach under. Feed them. Quench their thirst. Multitasking with doggy style, that is. You're welcome, ladies and gents. Because everybody was just like, oh, I wonder if this, single tasking will ever help me get ahead in life. It won't. Maybe you'll get really good at it. But the best part of life is multitasking. So go ahead and do that. You're welcome. Enjoy it. That one's free on your boy. Just because, again, giver. I like to give. Boy's a giver. It just brings me pleasure knowing that I could be of assistance out there. Just doing a little bit. Service. That's just what it is. Being of service. Ladies and gents, I was just thinking about this. What would I rather have? What would you rather have? This is for men's and women's. You got to just, switch it around. If you, I was going to say, would you rather have a big brain or a big cock? Or rather, tight puss versus, would you rather have a big brain? For dudes, it's big cock versus big brain. Ladies, tighter puss or tighter brain, 20 IQ points higher, 20, 30 IQ points higher on the brains, or a couple of inches on the old cock, or a little bit more elasticity and tightness in the old batch. Let's go through it together. Because the old cock, if it could have a couple of inches, if we're talking, 2 extra inches on the cock versus, let's say, 20-point increase in your IQ, which would you rather pick? With a 2-inch increase on the old cock, I think it would, definitely with the self-confidence, it would just, because I think that's what it is. I think you would walk around knowing that you're walking around with like 8 inches. I think that would just, you'd ooze some sort of, we've heard it does exist. It's not anything you could show, but there is something to it. You walk a little bit differently with a couple extra inches in your pocket. So it does help in those situations. In circumstances where if your cock were to get into an accident, they needed to, chip away at it a little bit. Like if it got into a scrap or like it got burnt up, if there's more cock to work with, if they were to reduce it, if they were to give you like a second circumcision, so we need to, seems like I got caught in a fire after going into to rescue a little kitten from a burning house. That's what your cock does. And it got a little bit, it got bruised up, it got burnt up, and then we need to take a couple of inches off. At least you'd have extra for you to be able to give away and not feel inadequate, which is also good. It could help you, like if you've got, if you lose your legs, if you got like a bit bigger cock, it would be nice to know that you could technically get erect and balance yourself on just your cock. Like just one, just the middle of your body, one large cock. Rest yourself, balance yourself. So it comes in handy. If it's big enough, it could kind of replace legs if you ever lose legs. Tighter puss, of course, ladies, that comes with extra pleasure for you and your partner. So you're like, who wouldn't want more extra pleasure for themselves or their partner? Now, the 20 extra IQ points, could you use that? Could you do anything to, advance your life, make it better? Of course you could. You could fucking, start applying for jobs that you might have never considered, that may not have been options, that may not have been available to you. You write on your resume, just got 20 extra IQs. Start solving mathematical equations that you've never considered. Start doing, puzzles, solving riddles, creating riddles to then solve riddles. Going down to the old, crime depot to help solve crime at the crime depot. Fucking, you got crimes. Says crime depot, that's where it is. You go in there, see a couple of the evidence, draw connect the dots, draw the lines, correlation, causation, solve it. Start deducing. It's nice. It would be nice if you, but then again, you don't know because you might gain 20 extra IQ points. And then that might lead you to further, it might there's pros and cons to it. You could do amazing things. Of course, you could start a business. You could really get it, if you put your mind to it, you probably could get good at something. And that could be the thing that you're good at, and you get noticed for that. That'd be nice. It could also be terrible because everything has a pro and a con. It could turn into you could fucking turn, a business that does really well into something that starts, you might sort of you might just pour yourself all into that business, and then you might get isolated, not have any friends or family, and you'll be successful, that'd be nice, but you don't have any friends and family. At that point, you're maybe considering you got a lot of money, who needs friends and family. At the end of the day, it's a decision. It doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't have to happen that way. It could have a completely positive impact on your life, of course. You could have all the success, family, friends, fun times, good memories. What would I choose at the end of the day though? Would I rather have 2 extra inches on the old cock or 20 extra IQ points? Oh, that is a toughie. What would you rather, ladies? Would you rather leave a comment if you rather have a tighter pussy or 20 extra IQ points? That is a tough one, gosh. Who couldn't use being a little bit smarter, being a little bit wiser? That's the wise decision, but also 2 inches of the old cock, man. That is a tough one. That is a tough one. Logically, it's you're supposed to go with the brain and the IQs because you're like, yes, that'll help you way more in life than 2 extra inches on the cock. But also, again, 2 inches of cock, because that's tangible. You can show 2 inches of cock, not everywhere, but you can just have people can see it. You got a bigger bulge all of a sudden. 20 extra IQ points, unless you put unless you get a see-through dome, if you can do some, and then point to your, but even then you can't show IQ points unless you get a bigger brain. If the brain was bigger, then that's something, that's at least tangible. Come back and just be 20% bigger brain and show it to it. If it was a drop top that you could have something to show for it, because you can't, unless I go, man, that's a tough one. I would go with, again, brain logically says, go with 20 extra points because it'll open up probably more doors for you. 2 extra inches on it is a tough one. I don't know which one to pick, to be honest with you. I don't know which one to pick. I'll say cock, to be honest with you. I think that one's more tangible. I think that one's more, it's something physical right there. And to be honest with you, I don't know what would the 20 points do? Because the cock is there. The cock is there. You know what to do with it. It's more impressive. It is more impressive. We will go with the cock. The cock is the better answer. It's the funnier answer. It is the better answer. Brain, get a brain, get a bigger brain, get a faster brain, get a whatever. That's, yes, of course. Logically speaking, of course, yes. The better, funnier answer. And even if you don't use it for the sex, it's a good party gag. It's a good, just put it on the table right beside the subs. What is this? Somebody reaches for it, It's, I'll go with the cock. I will go with the cock. What is your decision? What would you rather have? 20 extra inches on the old IQ, 20 extra IQ points, or 2 extra inches on the cock? Or would you rather go a couple of, ring sizes tighter on the old puss, ladies, versus getting a couple of extra points on the IQ score? If you're good with the IQs, then just go with the tighter puss and the larger cock. I think that's, I'd go with the cock. It's better. Ladies and gents, what else is going on? Lots of stuff is happening in and around the world, of course. Let's get into it, shall we? There was a video that I saw recently of a US military pilot having a close encounter with what seems to, they're telling us that it's a close encounter with a UFO. And then there was a video, I saw the video, but then I'm like, for a second, I wasn't sure. I'm like, am I looking at a real video, or is this a manufactured, or is it a animation? And after a couple of closer looks, I believe it's an animation. It's not an actual video. The first video I saw, I'm just like, oh wow, it seems like they're describing the plane. The pilot is driving the plane, operating the plane, riding it, piloting it, and then next thing you know, there's a football-sized, football-shaped, or capsule-shaped flying object, unidentified flying object that just passes by really quickly underneath I would say, the right side of the plane. And the video you see depicts that, and you see it at first, you're like, oh, that doesn't, is that real? Is that fake? After a closer look, it does look, not that it's, I believe they're just recreating what the pilot was describing, but I just saw that, and I'm definitely glad that we're getting all these discussions out there. It's nice because, yeah, the multiverse, the universe, the galaxies, they're so huge. Life, having existed, the probability of life existing out there is, I would say, pretty high. I don't believe that we're the only ones existing in forms of, quote unquote, intelligent beings or what have you. My only thing is, can we put a couple of good cameras on these aircrafts? Because they're state-of-the-art aircrafts. Can we just, can more airplanes, regular commercial airplanes and military jets and airplanes, can we just equip them with proper, a couple of GoPros, although I'm not even, I gotta be honest with you, GoPro, I'm not a little bit, I wonder if there are any competitors out there, because I'm not gonna go buy another GoPro just yet. I'm not quite happy with the battery life, and I'm not quite happy about the fact that it heats up in closed, vicinities. If you're indoors, it just heats up really quickly and the battery dies and the camera stops working. So I'm not quite happy about my first purchase of the old GoPro. I'm not gonna go ahead and jump and buy another one just yet. But having said that, something like a GoPro would be fantastic on these airplanes. I'm just, let's put them up. Let's put them up. So it doesn't cost much money in comparison to the actual cost of the entire airplane and, aviation. It's not much to stick a couple of, because I'm just thinking my regular average sedan that I drive has a good backup camera, like a really nice backup camera. I could fucking, eat off that backup camera. It's fucking HD. I could see everybody. When I'm reversed, it's nice. That's just a regular, so that's like a modern, the everyday man's sedan. It's not a fancy car, it's just a regular car. Regular, modest, humble beginnings, family car, family sedan car. With a beautiful, I'm not a family man, but it could, at least it says something. It says that, you could put a couple of people in there. They may not be family at first, but enough time spent together under one roof, maybe feeding one another, maybe doing a little bit of 69. Next thing family, that's what it's all about. But good cameras, put a couple of good cameras. All I just want to say that is, I'm not saying I don't believe the story. I'm not saying I do believe the story. I'm saying I'd like to definitely see, because there's so many talks, and yes, talk is great, but I'd like to see a little bit more evidence. I'd like to see whatever you got, just put it on. Let's see what it is. If let's go through the footage that is out there. Enough of the old bullshit zigzag shit, enough of the blurry images. It's 2025, everybody's got a camera on their phones. Put a couple of cameras on these airplanes, on these aircrafts. If there's anything out there that we're gonna be capturing, let's capture it clearly. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, see what is either, figure out if it's man-made, fantastic. Who made it? Did we make it? Did another, nation make it? If it's not man-made, what is it? Is it a physical thing? Is it a, is it there? Is it not there? Is it physical? Is it lights? Is it lasers? Is it a show? What is it? Is all I'm asking. Just a good camera on these airplanes would be fantastic, so that we don't get the image that is animated and have to be like, well, that looks crazy. You're like, oh, that's animated. That's not real. Not saying the story isn't real, not saying these things don't happen again. It'd just be nice to see something for realsies. A little bit of investment. It's not that expensive to put a couple of cameras on airplanes. Let's do that together. Put it on the budget, put it on the tab, print the bills, spend the money where we need to spend them. Or stick a couple of old school, like 80s cameramen on airplanes. Dudes with giant cameras on top of their shoulders, just hanging off the side of airplanes, just capturing things. If Tom Cruise could hang off the side of airplanes, I'm pretty sure we can equip the airplanes with a few 80s style cameramen with huge cameras on their backs, on their necks. Just crazy glue them to the side of the plane. Don't worry about it. They'll just feed them every once in a while. Put a diaper on them when they're up there. Just lather them in whale blubber so they don't get cold. But ultimately, couple of cameramen and women too. It's 2025. Come on. It's 2025. Stick a couple of ladies with hot tits with a huge 80s style camera with a giant, just like 1979, 82 style camera with lots of wires. Maybe get somebody with a sound equipment there, with just a boom and a microphone or something. Just ready to do an interview is all I'm asking. Just be prepared. You never know. Ladies and gents, what else is going on in and around the world? I will say this before we get into the in and around the world. I'll say this. I do want to start I think we should together combine two of our favorite activities in the world, which is ninjaing, being ninjas, and introducing sex ninjas, for two specific reasons. One, for them to be hired to come and kind of like, because you heard of this, people who have a lot of money, you can actually like hire people who will make your lifestyle a little bit more attractive in terms of introducing or injecting a little bit of, adrenaline or a little bit of a mystery element to it. Like you're getting home and you've hired a set of goons to jump you and make sure that getting inside your home becomes a task, because you've done everything, you've reached every pinnacle, you have tons of money in the bank, but at the end of the day, you want to feel a little bit challenged. You've gone to the jiu-jitsus, you've done the boxings, you've done the karates, but it'd be nice to know that you're about to go into your mansion and kind of low-key get attacked by some hired ninjas to do some jiu-jitsu and make sure that like you're up to your your peripherals working, that your hand-eye or coordination is good. You want to make sure that you are able to knock out a few fellas or ladies. You want to roundhouse kick a couple of guys in the chin before you enter your dwelling. So those are hired ninjas. People do that. And I'm just thinking we could combine that with sex. Imagine that. You knock people out, a couple of ninjas, where they try to knock you out. Next thing you know, ninja mask still on, but ninja clothes off, rubbing your clit, rubbing the tip of your cock, ninja style sex, tumble, roll, out the door, dude. You don't even see them. And that's the beautiful thing. Having dinner with family, fantastic. Who's on the ceiling? You didn't even notice. Ninjas drop to the floor, give you head, roll back up to the ceiling somehow. Don't ask questions. How do they do it? They're ninjas. They just give you a blowjob and they're gone. They're out of here, which is fantastic. Sex ninjas. And also they could help to fight crime. Sex ninjas, fighting crime and incorporating sex with it as well. Sex ninjas. I myself I would like to be a sex ninja myself. I would like to just get, dress in all black, find an objective, be given a task, be given a mission, climb a fence, drop in, sex ninja outie, peace. You know what I'm talking about? Couple of ninja stars, couple of blowies, couple of finger fucks, out the door, dude. Couple of smoke bombs. Who's in your G-strings? Your boy's in your G-strings. Who took your G-strings? Your boy took your G-strings. Why? Because he's a sex ninja, right? The sex ninjas. Saving lives and fighting crime, sex ninjas. Hired libidos, sex ninjas. I would love to see that. I'm just saying we should make it happen together. Shark Tank, if you're listening, sex ninjas. This company's going to be worth 10x. What is going on in and around the world? Let's slowly but surely get into it because it is Friday. All right. Lots of exciting events. I believe this happened in Austria, if I'm not mistaken. A Syrian man who has become an Austrian, a Syrian delivery driver in Austria, saw something, and instead of saying something, he went above and beyond. He did something, which is nice. This is good news. This is beautiful news, because you do hear a lot of news is like, kind of like, this downer, and like, you're like, oh, it's not a good example of like people sometimes, which is nice to see a good example of a immigrant or, a Syrian, Australian doing something proactive, doing something positive. And that happens most of the time. That sort of thing doesn't get reported. We do hear about the negatives, which are also true. Sometimes it does happen. You hear about the grooming gangs in the UK or the whatevs. You hear like, jihads going to the, flying from the east to the west. It's a thing with immigration. All that is true, but there are definitely way more great people all around the world which don't get recognition. And I believe this beautiful gentleman, I believe his first name is Aladdin, or I'm gonna say Aladdin because it's easier. So shout out to Aladdin. He saw something, he did something. He saw a little bit of, I'm not mistaken, a fella was doing the stabbing and killing. He killed one person, I believe killed a 14-year-old and injured 5 other people. And this beautiful Syrian delivery driver saw this happening, rammed his car, or took his car, rammed it right into the, you know, the friggin' attacker, the not so bueno guy, and took him out. Didn't kill him, but he just dinged him, just kind of just knocked him off his game. And they were able to go and I guess arrest him and take, I don't know, I'm pretty sure, I didn't read too much into it, but I'm pretty sure the, you know, police officer must have arrived at the scene and taken care of the rest of it. It's just nice to see that story. I do want to see more of that story. People seeing something and doing something. Get involved. Right? If you see somebody doing something that, you know, you might want to be like, oh, do I wait for the authorities? Do I wait for the police? Yes, you could do that, but it's nice to know that they're heroes, that they're everyday heroes that see an opportunity to say, hey, I'm gonna help my fellow man and woman out here who's in need. If somebody's out there friggin', you know, losing their mind, stabbing people, and you can go and help and be of assistance, that's really good. That's really nice. So if I can shout out to Aladdin in Austria, he's deemed as a hero. Now I did find out that at the moment it happened because he rammed his car into the fellow who was attacking. He himself kind of got bombarded, sort of like a little. He had to lock himself into the car because people. It is a little bit of a commotion. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Somebody's stabbing somebody. The next thing you know, somebody's running into them with a car. And they've had incidents of car rammings. We've had these sort of incidents all around the world. I believe in Toronto we had one a few years ago as well. So these types of things happen. So people were like, "Oh my God, is this another?" You know, car ramming should be, but then they realize, no, this guy is out there ramming for positivity, ramming with purpose, not just going out there hurting people, but doing something. So there you go, get involved. Next thing you know, you could be a hero. If somebody's getting stabbed or shot, jump in front of it, get involved. They tell you not to get involved, but do you not want to be a hero also? Do you want to, you know, sure, could you get hurt? Absolutely. Could you be held accountable with stuff because of like laws and protection? Yes, probably those things are also things to consider, but also every once in a while it's nice to know that people say, hey, there's fellow people. I'm not going to worry about the consequences. I'm going to go and help first, ask questions, shoot first, ask questions later. It's sex ninjas solving crime using their libido. Sex ninjas tumbling in and out of your life. Sex ninjas over the fence, under the door, they're in your chimney. Sex ninjas wearing all black. It's kind of dark in this room. Are they here or are they gone? Sex ninjas get you before you can see them coming. Sex ninjas. Right there. So shout out to Aladdin in Syria doing, and in Austria doing beautiful things. So putting it's a good positive, it's good PR for just people and also like immigrants as well. It's nice to see that because it's easy to draw narratives of, to put people into groups. It's nice to hear that story. So the ramming for positivity. It's good to see that, Aladdin. Shout out to you. Ram more people if need be. Don't, not more people. Like if you see something, say, but then ram. If nobody's around, then fucking ram your car right into them. It's good. Hells yeah. Get involved. Take somebody, if you don't have a car, get involved. Take the knife out of the assailant's hands by mimicking what you've seen throughout your lifetime in movies and media in general. Everybody's seen enough gunfights and knife fights to probably have subconsciously downloaded some info in there. Don't be afraid of cuts and bruises and getting stabbed. Get involved. Put yourself right in front of danger and say, yes, I will take one for the team. And yes, this is way more exciting than not getting involved. And yes, I'm not gonna just stand there and record on my phone and say, whoa, what is happening here? Do that, but you got two hands. So one hand could be recording, one hand could be fucking knocking people in the face that need to be knocked in the face. Get involved. But also, be safe out there. So don't listen to me, man. All I'm saying is if you wanna be a hero, somebody just showed ya. If you want to be another bystander, go ahead, do that too. That's cool too. That's fine too. Completely acceptable? Are people gonna assume that you're low-key puss? Maybe, but let people draw their own conclusions. You can go home safe and secure to your family, so let them say you're puss, but also step in there and be a hero, so that you might lose limbs, you might lose a little bit of blood in the process, but then you'll go home back to your family injured, but they'll be proud. You're injured, you're crippled now, you're half the man you were before because you fucking, you lost an arm, you lost a leg, but it's okay. You are now a hero. It's a tough decision to make in the moment. I'm not saying I'm the first one to jump in there as well. All I'm saying is it's good to know that people do. Good to see that. Ladies and gents, news that kind of, this one's interesting. It happened, I believe, in Argentina and in the Argentines. Javier Milei of Argentina, the president of Argentina, the dude with the chainsaw, with the Latin lover vibes, with the hair and the sideburns and the chainsaw, and cut this department, cut that department, act here, chainsaw the Department of Education, chainsaw the Department of whatever, speaking Argentinian, all of it, Argentinian barbecue, cut the costs, which is good. Those are a good thing. I like the guy. He's got like a little Tasmanian devil sort of vibe to him. He's energetic. He's I don't know. He seems like energy's good. Recently, he's got a little bit of heat. Earlier in the week, he did a little bit of pump and dump of the old crypto. He went online, promoted a cryptocurrency. All right, something Libra, dollars, muchos gracias, dollars, Libra. Posted it on X. Had a link maybe connected to a website that was connected to him. Doesn't matter. He posted. He advertised. They pumped, and then dumped, and then the people that invested probably lost a lot of money. But I'm not gonna say because I don't know. Maybe he made a lot of money. Maybe people he was associated with, who were associated with the crypto, got a lot of money in the price. Doesn't matter. What the thing that you need to key aspect that you need to remember right now, first of all, is that pumping and dumping is an innate part of human nature. And if you're not pumping and dumping crypto right now, are you even alive? If you're not, do you even pump and dump, bro? Do you even pump and dump? Do you even get involved in pumping and dumping? Because if you're not pumping and dumping crypto right now, before we have a few sweet years, I believe, until we do gotta, at one point, I believe we should probably get a little bit of a grasp or control of it. But until then, I'm not saying I want one. I'm not saying I don't want one. I'm saying right now is the wild, wild west of crypto, and it's the time. If you want to be pumping and dumping, you have a brief window of opportunity. If you have a little bit of money, enough money to actually go and create one, do it. Pump it, dump it. Pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. Do you not want dumb money, dumb, quick, fast money? Then you should be pumping and dumping. Then if you're like, oh, I want longevity, pump and dump a little bit. Not all of it. Pump a little bit, dump a little bit. Pump a little bit, dump it. Don't go pumping a lot, and then dumping the whole thing. That will be, but then I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm not a financial advisor. All I'm saying is a brief moment in time right now that's happening. If you have millions of dollars and are like looking to make an extra couple of bucks, pumping and dumping crypto, right? You could do that. You could just make fake money out of thin air, pump and dump. And yeah, if you have a couple of hundred millies, if you don't care about a couple of hundred millies, invest in a crypto pump and dump scheme. It's a nice scheme. It's a good, legitimate scheme. You can do that right now. Presidents are doing it, so you know it's legit. Until I believe at one point or another, we will have some sort of crackdown on this, and it will probably all just kind of get, consolidated into a form of Bitcoin, which I believe in my heart of hearts, without having any sort of, knowledge, I'd say this is probably the work of an intelligence community that has created this. I have no proof of this. It only makes sense because I don't believe that some random dude out of nowhere just started to make cryptocurrency, and all of a sudden, biggest governments in the world were all like, yeah, we're all cool with this. Just make a fake currency, make a non-fungible currency out of thin air or whatever, make it an online currency. I believe this is the work of intelligence, and ultimately this is us getting nudged into, getting rid of cash and getting rid of, monetaries that are tangible and physical. Everything's going to be, we're moving towards a online basis for transaction. I believe that's the trend for the future. We do see coins being eliminated. We do see paper money being eliminated. We do see even credit cards being eliminated through paying with the apps and whatnot. So it is just becoming one of those things that'll be the future. I believe that's either going to be Bitcoin or some sort of government, digital currency. I don't know. That's my feeling. Gut feelings is right now, you should be pumping and dumping, dumb money pumping and dumping. If you're a celebrity, pump and dump. If you're an athlete, pump and dump. If you just have money and you know a few people, get a team, pump and dump hard. There's no regulation where you can just pump and dump, and nobody should be going after Millet. This is just another dude. I want all of us to be pumping and dumping. I said from the get-go, one of the things I want for everybody, humanity, I would like to see more rich people. I would like to see more people get rich. I would like to see more people get rich. If you could pump and dump right now, get on, find a friend, put your money together, pool your resources, pump and dump hard. Do not listen to me. You might lose all your life savings. This is not financial advice, but all I'm saying is pump and dump till your eyes are bleeding, dude. Till you have not a penny left to pump and dump no more. Invest all your money in pumping and dumping. These things are nonsense, but it's great. That's how most wealth was made, with nonsense. So if you want to work hard and do it gradually, little by little, maybe it'll pay off, maybe it won't. I'm telling you right now, few years, pump and dump period, it will close soon. You've already probably missed the ship already. It's too late for me now, but you make a move for it. You make a move for it right now. Unless somebody wants to partner up, I'll come up with the name. You put up the couple of $100 million to get it going. We'll pump and dump hard, and then we will pull out, and everybody will be, everything. It's fine. We can pump and dump together. Okay, make a fake crypto is what I'm telling you. Make a real fake crypto right now. Make money, make bank. Stop thinking of ways that you're gonna get out there and learn a skill. Everything's gonna be automated. Everything's gonna be AI. All right, don't worry about it. Pump and dump. The AI is gonna be pumping and dumping. AI is going to be pumping and dumping so hard you'll be bleeding from your cock. It's going to be pumping and dumping so hard. You'll look back at this time, you're like, oh, I wish I was pumping and dumping in 2025. If I only pumped and dumped. Pump and dump right now. If you have anything that's big that could be leveraged into making a meme coin, that's what we are right now. We're a meme coin society, right? That's what it is. It's the times. It's not good or bad. It's just what it is. It's not good or bad. It's not point fingers to presidents who pump and dump. Say, yes, he did, and so should we. Every individual who has the ability to pump and dump right now should go out there and fucking pump and dump. Make dumb money. Ladies and gents. I heard great news. This one's great news. It just made me, because I saw the clip. I've not been following this closely, but I have heard rumors and murmurs, or I read maybe a headline or two here and there. APRocky was facing a trial for, something involving guns and maybe just like waving guns and something. But the charges got dropped. He's found not guilty, so hell's yeah. Congratulations. It was nice. I saw a moment where they read the verdict and he jumped and he pushed the bitch to the side. He's like, get out of my way, and jumped into Riri's arms. Didn't push her aside, but he was just excited to hug Riri, which is good. It's just like, yes, families together, reunited. You see the law working. You see Just Ice working. Another instance of justice working, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I got so happy. But the best way to celebrate this case is, I believe, going out there, grabbing some guns, and just blowing off some steam. I get it. It's been tough. I get it, but nothing says let's celebrate the good times with just getting a couple of Uzis, couple of AKs, and just right there into the air, dude, or get a couple of targets of whatever you don't like, plant them further away from you, like maybe 40, 50, 100 feet away from you, then just blast it into smithereens, right there, dude. Nothing says good times and celebration like rifles, like guns, like ammo. I myself don't have the time or space right now to fucking pop off into the ceiling. I will later on in life. I will definitely be popping off into some ceiling. That's just part of the thing. I want to pop off gats into the ceiling. That's part of my, it's gotta happen. At one point or another, we will shoot some guns into some ceiling. At one point, or like a floor, or like an apple, or like a little just one of those like, fake, humanoid fucking bodies that are made of like blubber or, gelatin or like, jello, and I'll shoot some guns into them just because I like guns, I like firearms. So go out and celebrate. Freedom, hells yes, family, love, respect, community, guns. Just celebrate with guns. That's the best way to celebrate. Congratulations, that's just some good news. It's good to see a black man, a brother, or just a fellow, member of society with melon not get sent to prison for stupid charges. So hells yes, free other people too. Whoever #freedom, whoever's in the midst of a situation that's I hope everybody's cases get resolved. That's what I'm saying. I just got happy. It's nice. See people jumping into each other's arms, families reunited. It's good to see. That's beautiful. But celebrate with popping off a couple of shells. You know what I'm talking about? Just a couple of shotgun, one-handed. Right there, dude. Shotguns for everybody. We're free now, bitches. Couple of grenades. It's nice, dude. It's nice. Do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this one, let's get into these ones. These ones are my favorite. Oh man, this one's been, because it's been bubbling. It's been, it's been stewing for some time, if you will. Zelenskyy has just been, getting a little bit of a talk from our new president. President Trump has been going there, doing the talks, trying to, negotiate the pieces and whatnot. So it's been, but this is Zelenskyy's position is now changing. It's changed already. It's been, he went from, because that's the thing with the Biden administration, he was kind of like, he's kind of like a sweetheart. Now he's kind of like, time is run out. It's time to, there's a new admin you're working with. It's a new boss you're working with. It's this is what it is. It's essentially, I believe Trump is demanding a few things. They've had some words maybe exchanged or whatnot. There's maybe ideas of elections, getting a new president in Ukraine. There's ideas of handing over half of the Ukrainian minerals in exchange of the services that were rendered. And that's just the takeaway from all of this is you can play, but you gotta pay. It's pay to play. You can't just play for free. Everybody's gotta pay to play. Governments, countries, nation states, these are all world, it's different. Think of it as like, not saying they are, but think of it as you're dealing with different mobs. You got different mob. You got the Russian mob there, got the Western mob here, you got Chinese mob there, you got different mobs. Not quite literally, but more or less parallels can be drawn. And if you come asking the mob for protection, asking the mob to do business, asking mafiosos to do business, you must understand, we're happy to do business with you, but we will collect our money. We will get ours. It doesn't, yes, we will protect you. We will protect you. Your storefront will be protected. Your patrons will be protected. Your customers, protected. Your merchandise, protected. At a cost. It's not free. It's definitely not for free. It's definitely not for free. We're gonna take half of your profits, half of your minerals, half of your belongings. We will come in and we'll get involved with the reconstruction projects. We're gonna get dibs on those as well. Because yes, ultimately, if you want to do business, yes, you can. But it comes at you gotta pay to play, man. You gotta pay to play. If you're not willing to pay to play, there's other people who will easily replace you who will pay to play. And that's the way it works. It's just the rules of life. If you want to play, if you want protection, you can have it. It does cost you. And if you don't pay, I'm not saying things will happen. I'm not saying that, but anything in life is possible. Anything you might be like, I don't want to pay. And we're like, fine, don't pay then. Don't pay. Then should your, hypothetically speaking, allegorically speaking, if you don't pay, not anyone specific, not any individuals, which is allegorically, metaphorically speaking, you don't pay, should instances and unfortunate circumstances arise where your kneecaps are getting taken out and you no longer can walk and provide for your family, then that is just a set of unfortunate circumstances that have led you down to a very dark path, my friend. It sucks. Recovery will take some time. It would be nice to have some funds to know that your family's taken care of. I'm not saying these things will happen. These are just metaphorically, allegorically speaking, of course. You could pay, nothing could happen. You could pay and everything could be just fine. Or you could not pay and everything could be just fine. You could just forget it. I'm not going to pay. Everything could be fine. Or you could not pay and maybe your store will be set on fire. I'm not saying it will or won't. Probably won't. But should it catch on fire, then that is just a set of unfortunate circumstances that you have got yourself into. And these are just the prices of doing business. I'm not saying who's done what or who's going to do what. All I'm saying is you could not pay. You could easily not pay. Should you go into, should you just disappear? It happens all the time. Should you just disappear? Allegorically, metaphorically speaking, not be, anybody else could be replacing you. Anybody else could come in and be the president. Metaphorically speaking, of course, anybody else could be the owner of this business. We could even switch the business. We could switch the business if we wanted to. I'm not saying, it's just the rules of doing business. And that's how it works. You got to pay. So you wanted the protection, you got the protection, now you got to pay. And that goes with, and already this is coming to like it's a new admin. You got to, and it is fair. It is fair. You can't, same for Europe too. If you want that Western, if you want the, US military to back you up in certain situations, if you're not going to have a military yourselves who are strong enough to take on whatever challenges that might arise, then you will get the protection, but at a cost. It's not going to be for free. We can't just go around willy-nilly just protecting everybody with our beautiful, shiny, huge guns and not expect to get, you got to be paid. It's just the way it works. If you don't want to have your own guns, if you don't want to have your own armies, we will provide you with one. We will support you in case you need it, but it costs. It's not for free. It's not for free. And again, think of it just the easier, digestible way. Think of it as a beautiful mob movie. You have gotten yourselves involved with a mob, with a sort of a mafia, if you will. And that's all of us to a certain extent. If you extrapolate long enough, it's just how detached are you or how separate are you from the, you might be so far removed from it that you're like, no way, but at the end of the day, it's, again, very much digestible. If you just look at it's just the way it works. It's just the way things work. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm not saying these are not my decisions. I'm just saying these are, I believe, a little bit of just looking around, seeing things. So you got to pay to play, man. You got to pay to play. Minerals, half of it is ours now. It's just the way it goes. You want protection, you want shiny gun, you want missiles, you want whatevs. And at the same rate, you got other, because and then there's other different. If you don't like this, then you're, free to just go about your business on your own, dealing with other mob bosses on other sides. So it's just what metaphorically, allegorically speaking, of course, life is not a movie, and this is not a mafia movie. This is just what it's just life. It's about a good time. It's all about us cooperating together, seeing that there's money to be made, and at the end of the day, make good decisions. It'd be a shame to see your beautiful storefront get torched and caught on fire with a random accident of fire, because fires fucking take place all the time, and it'd be unfortunate for this beautiful store, metaphorical beautiful store, to just get torched. It would break my heart. I'd hate to see good families lose their business. Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. So please, pay to play. And you say you're good for it in the beginning. You like the protection you say good for it in the beginning, that's fine. You want to come and play a poker game, you're like, I'm good for it, I got the money, I'll pay for it. Put it on my tab, I'll pay for it, you'll say that. Next thing you know, you're like, I need a little bit more time, Next thing you know, I got to grab my baseball bat and come pay you a visit. Metaphorically, allegorically speaking, of course. You know what I mean? So it's just like, if you want to play poker, that's fine. You can get in poker. Because not everybody can play poker. It's a private game, no problem. You can play. Cigars, drinks, everybody's having a good time. Everybody's big boys, we're playing, it's fine. Then if you don't pay, then there's going to be, if you want to, I'm not saying, I'm just letting you know. There's certain things that need to be taken care of. Ladies and gents, this one's my favorite one. This one is my absolute favorite one. It's unfortunate, it's a little bit, but it's involving a certain topic that I find fascinating. Cults. Good cult, bad cult. You might have heard of this group called the Zizian group. Members were arrested. The leader was arrested just recently in the past few days. The Zizian group is a cult in America, in the US. So it's a newer cult. But before we even get into their specifics, I just find the topic of cults very fascinating. Cults, where do they come from? How are they formed? What is a cult? How long have they been with us? I believe cults have been with us from the dawn of man. I would say ever since we started to form groups and formulate societies and groups and get into packs, cults have been with us. Different forms of it, but more or less the same. To me, a cult is, again, a group of people who are working together with a similar goal and some sort of a leadership. Differences sometimes, some people say, what is the difference between a cult and a religion? Some people say the cults have a living leader sometimes, and religions have a dead leader sometimes. You could have instances where the reverse is true for both cases. Cults, essentially, I believe it's family. It's really, at the end of the day, it's all about family. And the difference, I would say, between, this is where it emerges. You're like, what is the difference between a cult and a religion? I would say that people have argued that cults, in order for it to be considered a cult, you need to be either at the end of the prolonged, mission or journey or whatever the main objective or goal of the cult is. At the end of it, that either yourself or members of the said cult would end up dying or killing themselves there's death involved in cults. You'd be killing yourself for the cause. That's the cult. You drink the Kool-Aid together, or whatever. That's one of the key aspects of a cult. But then same things could be seen in religion as well. So people sort of say, what's the difference between religion and cults? Very similar. More or less the same. It could be argued that they're the same. Chances are you're in one right now. Chances are most of us are in different cults, and we don't even know it, but we are in a cult. We are a different cult. And again, if you're far removed from it, you could be not seeing the drastic aspects of it. You could not be seeing, but we're definitely in cults. Cults are everywhere. Cults are behind every successful man is a juicy cult. That's one of the things. They said juicy women before, but behind the juicy woman, juicy cult, juicy woman, juicy man. It's just the way it works. People like a formation of a hierarchy, a leader, something to follow, a motto, a slogan, some sort of an ethos, a belief, something that they're willing to die for at the end of the day. When it comes down, these are the differentiating factors between cults and just like a regular group. But everything has cultish elements to it. Everything can have cultish elements to it. Families are small cults because essentially set of people formulated around a set of ideas, beliefs, and at the end of the day, willing to die for it. You'd die for your family. You'd be insane not to. You'd die for your family right now. That's kind of a cult. Sports teams could be cults. People passionately participate in sports, whether through actively actually doing the sport or being a member through viewership, through, being a fan. And people literally dedicate their entire lives, families pass down, generational allegiances to certain sport teams. And this is my soccer team, this is my football, and my son's gonna follow, my daughter's gonna follow. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. These are not extreme forms where you lead into, killing yourself, but at the end of the day, you're going out there, you're competing, you're hoping that your team wins, and you've seen people get into mass psychosis, mass hypnosis it's beautiful. I love seeing sporting events because you do see that, hive mind mentality of, groupthink, yellow versus green, red versus blue, chanting, our team. It's really incredible. So cults have always been, I believe, an innate part of humanity from a really long time ago, even probably before we even knew what it was, probably before we even had the words to describe it, or the feelings or the emotions or the attachments to them. We definitely started participating in them and creating them. And it's really cool. It is really cool. You're in a cult right now. Most of us are. If you're driving a car, you're in that particular, if you care about it, you're in that cult. If the emblem means something to you, if you take pride in it, you're in a cult. If you wear a certain set of brand of clothing, you're in a cult. If you are, again, sports teams, you could be a fan of a particular music, genre of movies, anything could be, again, the extreme of it is you go to the limit and you push it to the point where you're like, I would die for this, or I will kill for this thing. Most people don't. Most people are just like, low level cult members. Most people are low level, but chances are you're probably in multiple cults right now as we speak. You listen to certain people, you do certain things, you eat certain things, you practice certain things. There's a group thing aspect to it. Remove the killing aspect of it. That's what really differentiates, I guess, cults and just quote unquote groups of individuals. But nonetheless, I do find them fascinating. Cult behavior is always, it's interesting. It's interesting to me. Having a leader, others following. It is part of that is just, again, I think it's an innate part of humanity. We look to, everybody does. You look to, from the moment you come to life, you're looking to your parents, you're looking to your siblings, you're looking to your community, learning, getting better at things, taking on, student-teacher relationships in terms of you look to people to learn, and people look to each other to learn from each other. So we're fucking culted out, dude. It's cult life, essentially. Humanity, one of its main features is cults. It's fucking, so you're either in one right now. If you're not in one right now, which I find hard to believe, join one right now. And if you can't join, if one is not accessible to you, which I believe there's a ton of them, there's so many cults. There's probably as many cults out there. There are people. There's probably more cults than there are people, I would say. You're in one. If you can't find one to join, create one. Start your own cult. That's you yourself are a cult. If you're out there doing a business, you are a cult. If you are out there, building a brand, building a whatever, providing a service. I learned this working at many different companies, just growing up. Particular gym that I used to work for, it was you had to get into a certain mentality. There's an ethos, there's pillars that you believe in, things that make and represent this particular brand of gym or lifestyle. It goes beyond that. It becomes, you're like, this gym is not just a gym, it's a lifestyle. And all of a sudden you're like, I'm in a fucking cult. I'm lifting, I'm changing lives for the better, and I'm in a fucking cult. And it's nice, it is nice. But there's good cult, bad cult. There's good cult, bad cult. Because there's cults that are extremely selfish and, they become cults of personality. They become, very dogmatic, very dictatorial, if you will, and they become sort of like it's my way or the highway, and everybody does thing. And we've seen this in the past, we see it in the present, it exists right now. There's cults of personality, dictatorships that are thriving in and around, they're just working, doing their thing, just fucking, in charge of millions of people. It's just cults of, and they've, through whatever mechanism, whether it's brainwashing, through, all sorts of tactics, through, brute force, through education, through entertainment, through, again, sports, through culture, all of culture, putting the cult back in culture, the human cult is so much within us that I can't even imagine humanity without cults. So I find them interesting. I find them fascinating. Again, if you're like, I'm not in a cult, if you pay attention, you probably are in some sort of, again, not like a high level fucking like going out there trying to like kill yourself or other people for it, but nonetheless, you're participating in some sort of and the best case scenario is become your own cult. I've said that from the beginning, I'll keep saying it. Become your own business, become your own thing. Make something that has it's essentially about community and family, but that's what it comes down to. But nonetheless, before that, I don't even know where It's just an interesting topic that I wanted to talk about, but nonetheless, I did see this group pop off. I believe they're called the Zizian group. It is a cult, again, created in the US. I believe they're a vegetarian, transhumanist, rationalist, computer scientist, AI. There's a bunch of things that has merged a lot of different thoughts. Full-blown veganism or vegetarianism is an aspect of their cult, so that's what they did. Semi-hemispheric sleeping practices, which is something that they participated in. So it's a bunch of trannies who are eating vegetables and maybe just vegan. They're eating a vegan diet. They're computer scientists, so they're nerds. They are anarchists, self-proclaimed anarchists. So they don't, I believe they don't, practice whatever, like, quote unquote traditional, philosophies of life or ways of life. Not to say, and that's, these are the things these are their main beliefs or set of practices. They've gone out and done horrible things. They've killed 6 people, if I'm not mistaken. One of them was a border patrol agent between the US and Canada border, if I'm not mistaken. US border patrol agent was killed amongst the 6 individuals as well. So these tranny cult members, they call themselves the Zizians. The leader's nickname was Ziz. I forget his full name. It's not important, but they got arrested, which is interesting. I'll say this. The biggest thing is differentiate between a good cult and a bad cult. Because again, we're probably in one right now. You probably want to join one, or you probably want to start one. Ultimate thing you don't want to do with a cult is end up killing yourself or other people. I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of this. So you're like, how do I differentiate between a good cult and a bad cult? If you do see groups of individuals or people doing positive things, go towards those. And great example of this, I've not participated in this myself, but I have, you hear stories, you do see it. People do it all in the martial arts, get involved in some sort of, the jiu-jitsus, that sort of like, AA could be, I'm not even saying, I don't even know if these, I've never participated in these, some of these are like, get into, but they're positive. They, for the majority of the part, want to do good. That's, try to see, but if somebody starts, telling you at the end of the day, kind of leaning towards wanting to, go down a line where you got to like stop eating certain, meals, stop eating meat, that's maybe fine, but then maybe like kind of getting angry about it and wanting to go like kill people, not participating in society and doing damage in that sense, then I'd say that's probably like a negative cult. That's a bad cult. It is your call at the end of the day to decide which cults you do want to join, but I would say make a wise decision, make a good decision. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. You're like, there's so many cults. Which one do I do? Good cult, bad cult. Kind of like see if they're into, if they invite you over and be like, yo, do you wanna let's like, we're all gonna be getting roofied tonight and kind of like, maybe cutting ourselves and shit. Maybe then they like, don't attend that one. That one's probably not a good one. Or they're like, if there's a cult leader who is, like power hungry, if they're kind of like, if they are threatening you in any sense of like maybe, if they're imposing themselves on you, then these are not signs of a good cult. If they are promoting, talking, discussing, excuse me, I got something in my eye. Bear with me a few seconds. I think I got it, doesn't matter. If they're discussing hurting you or other people, these are probably signs of a bad cult. So it is important that you decide on which cult to go with. At the end of the day, they're all fun. They're all fun. Again, don't go, there's so many good ones out there. Don't go out and join one that is, considering killing people. At the same rate, you're gonna find yourself in life being a part of a cult at one point or another. It's part of humanity. It's what we do. The takeaway from all of this is choose wisely and start your own fucking cult. That's the biggest thing. If I could say one thing, takeaway from this episode is start your own cult. Good cult, bad cult. Start your own cult. And start pumping and dumping. And I guess 3 main concepts we could take away from today. Pay to play. You're gonna at one point or another have to pay to play. That's just one of the lessons that I've learned. Pay to play. Pick a good cult, bad cult, and have a good time. At the end of the day, have a fucking good time. Celebrate with a couple of gats and popping off a couple of shells in the air. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Get out of here.